This video is going to show you how to use the spreadsheet and graphing program in the Pivot Interactive's website that you're working on in lab today. So you're collecting data of %T, percent transmission of light through a solution of either copper sulfate or cobalt chloride of varying concentrations. And when you collect that data as instructed in the lab, you need to enter that into the data table over here. And then you're going to graph a version of that. So let me show you how to enter the data, and then I'll show you how to manipulate the %T into absorbance values. So in the first column, I just click on this. I'm going to write in the concentration, and you should notate what substance it is, cobalt chloride or copper sulfate. Apparently I can't type. And the units for concentration are molarity. The other column is going to be the raw data you collect as % transmittance. And that doesn't have any units associated with it. So you just leave that blank. So I'll put some numbers in here, just some numbers we can work with, doesn't mean anything. 1, 2, 3. And I'll put some numbers here in the %T. Now, what I want to do is transform these % transmission values into a new column called absorbance. So I am going to label this new column ABS just for absorbance. It doesn't have any units. So the last thing I need to do here is to tell the spreadsheet how to transform %T into absorbance. And if you can see this highlighting up here, jumping around a little bit, absorbance is the negative log of %T over 100. So that's what I'll need to put in. To do that, you click on the 3 little dot pull down menu and you go change column formula. All you need to enter is the part of the equation to the right of the equal sign. So that is negative. And next you'll put in the log, not natural log, but base 10 log. And it's the log of what? It's the log of the %T column divided by 100. So I need to put that in parentheses, and don't forget to do this. Parentheses of, and then in this box here are the different columns it can operate on. And so you want to take the %T column and divide that by 100. And this will do that for each value. Don't forget to close your parentheses. Now you press go, and there you are. You've got a whole column of absorbance. If I go down to the graph down here, this one already populated it for me, but if yours are blank, you're just going to hit the pull down menu. The X horizontal axis will be the concentration of either whatever your solution is. And the vertical axis, the y-axis, should be absorbance. You can plot %T, but it doesn't really mean anything. Beer's law is absorbance and concentration. You can ignore these tolerance boxes. To make this look nice, you can show the origin if you like, but you should for sure hit linear regression. So your data is not going to look just like mine, but it will give you an equation down here. Absorbance is equal to something, some constant times concentration plus the y-intercept. So that's what you will record down here in the box as the equation, your calibration equation or calibration curve, that's called, except that you need to, as usual, include units for anything that has a unit in the equation so that I know what are you measuring concentration in. That concentration of cobalt chloride, I gave you some hints down here, it's molarity. So you need to put molarity in parentheses down there. But what about the slope? That's a quantity too. That's the y units over the x units. I gave you a hint down here, but make sure that when you write that equation, you put in units for slope and y-intercept as well. And then you're ready to move on.